Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Anne-Marie. I'm from Living Love Consciously. I hope you're having an amazing week. So anyway, wow, I'm sorry. I'm getting used to this camera. So my computer broke a while ago and I've been using my iPad to record, and my iPad is from 2013, so it doesn't have all those filters that everything has. And my husband was nice enough to get me a new computer. And it has so many filters that I don't kind of recognize myself. It's kind of weird. Like my skin is so smooth. Like it's weird. Like I think I like the graininess of my iPad recording because it seemed more real and authentic, whereas this seems kind of like fake, and it's weird because I do have wrinkles and this thing has taken all of them away. Like I don't have a lot, but still, it's anyway. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to see how the video comes out, and maybe I will continue recording it on my iPad just to have some level of authenticity and level of understanding that the person being reflected back at me is someone I recognize, until maybe I learn how to turn off the filter features. Oh, okay. When I scrunch up, you can see them. All right. It just seems like there's a layer of something fake over my face. Anyway, so in this conversation, we are going to talk about living love consciously, obviously, right? Because that's what I always talk about. Anyway, yeah, so I was scrolling through the internet, and the internet is so sus. Seriously, the comment sections, the videos, everything is just so suspect. Like I can't even take it seriously. But I don't know why my screen is shutting off and on even though I'm recording a video. This is a new computer. I'm learning how to use it, so forgive me if the video turns out a little choppy. I haven't had time really to even investigate how to use this computer. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put something that kind of keeps the screen going so it doesn't shut off. So I'm just gonna keep this on it. Hopefully it doesn't shut off again. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm in the comment section and I'm reading about, so the video headline is people quitting their jobs without a backup. And I don't know, I think I've spoken to you in previous videos, like the generation, I don't know what generation they're in, but they're younger. They're like in their 20s, like mid 20s to early 20s, and they just quit. They don't care. I'm not going to judge them and say they don't care, but they're not motivated by the things that my generation was motivated by. And so they're willing to quit a job when it does not fit their needs. So the video was pretty much shitting on those types of people, and then the commenter was somebody, I would say he was like in his 30s, and he was like, well, why can't you just continue working and still look for another job? I don't think this person has looked for a job. I don't know if this person has looked for a job, but looking for a job is a full-time job. Like, I'm putting filters out there, right? And it's a full-time job. And I don't have time all the time to follow up with people, because I have a child, and I also have a job that I work really long hours in. And some of the people that were talking about quitting their job, they were like, I work a beyond 9 to 5 and I'm exhausted and I have burnout and I'm anxious about not having a job. And then you had people who were like, I'm super anxious about not having a job and I'm just sharing this with you guys. And I go in the comment section, it's like, why does everybody have to share everything about themselves? And so because sometimes, you know what, you're going through something and nobody understands, and maybe you'll be lucky enough that somebody on the internet will be like, hey, I understand exactly what you're going through. I put videos out on the internet, and sometimes I'm like, it's just going into the void. Nobody's watching these videos. I don't have a lot of views. And then I get a random comment saying thank you, or I get a random comment saying, hey, I completely understand how you're feeling, and it validates how I'm feeling, versus seeing a video that tells me I'm completely crazy for being burned out and wanting to find another place of employment. And if I was in the situation to quit, I would. Like, I would. I'm sorry. Like, it seems ungrateful, but I would. Because I am burned out and my health should be priority. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So, and I am burned out, like, to the point where I've never been an anxious person, and I've developed anxiety just because the turnover is so high. I'm one of the last people that's been there for quite some time. And so I do worry that the company wants like a younger face. And because they want a younger face, that we're all disposable, right? Or dispensable, is that the right word? I can't even think about it. I can't think. So like, I know I don't have my job forever, and it's like I can never do enough to be like, okay, you have your job, your job is secure. It seems like I can never do enough. There's always more, and that's the job market that we work in. And everybody that I talk to says the same thing. There's no one that's like, yeah, my job is great, I have a very balanced life. Maybe like I don't talk to a lot of people, maybe in the medical field. I have friends in the medical field, but I haven't really chit-chatted with them for a long time. My sister's in the medical field, and she's always working, but she may choose to always work because she wants to make that money because it pays really well, and she doesn't like have kids or anything like that, or it's just her, so she can work all the time. Although I don't agree with it, but she's got a plan. She's an adult, and she's going to do what she's going to do. She's going to life, right? She's going to live her life the way she wants to. So I guess my point to this whole story is that if you find yourself in a space where you are burned out and you need to just leave your job, I'm not going to sit here and judge you. But at the same time, there are people who are super burned out, and either way, somebody else is going to pick up the slack, whatever. And that's what's happened to me. That's why I'm burned out, because when people leave, I end up picking up the slack because I've been there so long. Or she can do it. This person, she can do it. She's been here for a long time. She knows it. She can do it. She can do it. She can do it. She can do it. And I never set a boundary because I'm someone who just, I like to be helpful. Not necessarily be helpful because I think this is going to keep my job, because I don't think anything, like I said, I don't think there's anything I can do to keep my job secure. So I'm not doing it for that purpose, because any day somebody might be like, you know what, and I'm out the door. But I end up picking up a lot of the slack. And also I end up picking up a lot of the slack, and so I'm burned out. I'm anxious because I'm burned out. I'm anxious because I can't spend time I don't spend enough time with my son. I'm anxious because, we have to pay bills. I'm anxious because, and, stress is a silent killer. I'm like, please God, don't give me a heart attack. This job is not worth a heart attack. Like, I don't know what job is. Like, maybe if I was saving lives or something, and I was in open heart surgery and somebody's life depended on mine, and that was causing me anxiety, that would seem kind of okay. But no, this job is not saving anybody's life. Maybe it's producing economy because it's giving people jobs, because it's sales. So people are buying stuff so you can employ people, things like that. So it is what it is. But beyond that, I don't think it's doing anything like that. So the stress level to me is inadequate for what we do. It's just unnecessary strength, just because the egos are so gigantic. And the egos are so gigantic that they don't care that the decisions they make are causing people to burn out, because they'll just hire new people. And until they hire new people, people like me will pick up the slack. People who are still there will pick up the slack, and the business will continue. That's just the way it is. And so when I go on the internet and I hear people giving unsolicited advice or using people who are vulnerable because they're expressing how burned out they are, how stressed out they are, how much anxiety they have because they had to make a tough decision, and the comments, and I used to think like that, and I still kind of do. The the reason I've been able to last at my job as long as I have is because I don't emotionally attach to it, in the sense that it is not what defines me. It's a job. It's a place that I go to. I earn income to support my family. Yes, it's nice to have nice colleagues. Yes, it's nice to get paid well. Yes, it's nice to get a really great title because other people care about that. Like, other industries care about that. But I don't necessarily care about it, because I always say, when I'm in my deathbed, what is going to be my legacy? And I want my legacy to be that I was a good mom, a good partner to my husband, and I was a decent human. Because I don't know if I can be a good human while being a good mom and a good partner to my husband, be a good human to everybody else. Because it's just like, I'm gonna have to make decisions that are probably beneficial for my family over humanity. It's just, I think that's it. I'm just being honest about that. But that's what I want my legacy to be. Not that Anne Marie worked. She was always dependable, and she became the CEO and the blah, 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 blah. And some people, that is what they want. That is what they live for. And good for you. But like, it's okay for the rest of us not to. Like, I remember there was an HR person. She was there, like, she recruited people. I don't know. These titles change so much to, like, anyway, I'm not gonna get even in the title. Like, the people title. I think there's like human resources, like the people something resources, and I'm like, y'all don't care about people. Y'all care about that bottom line. And naming it the people resources is just like, it's just like, Anyway, so she sees me I think we had a meeting, and then everybody went around the table and they were like, how long have you been? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I've been here X, Y, and Z. She was like, wow. But I haven't been in the same position, but technically I have. Like, I've been able to diversify my portfolio a little bit, in the sense of like my job duties and what I do, and that's what's maintained my sanity. I don't know if I could do what I started doing forever, because what I started with, nobody respects it, even though it's like a needed part of our company. Nobody respects it. Nobody understands how much time it takes. Nobody understands the nuances, the monotony, the day-to-day stuff that it takes to keep, like, I would say our department is the foundation. And then with that, our department drives other departments. It's like, if your body's not operating properly, then you're going to have problems. You're going to have snags in the process. So anyway, so here's the thing, like, there's a generation of people that haven't worked their way up, so they don't understand how each department works. They've gone to business school, they've gone to whatever Ivy League school, and everything is about what they've learned in school. And obviously they've applied that to their industry, and so it's like the numbers, but they don't know how things actually work to keep their company going. And I think there was a generation of people that worked their way up and had those kind of basic ideas, and so their decisions were more broadly made versus a narrow vision of the decision making process. So long story short, the people that end up in that department in any of the different houses, they all never go anywhere. Never. Rarely, some of them will be able to, but it's because they've left and then have come back. But it's just, once you get into that department, you rarely move up. And then there's also so many dynamics that I don't want to get into. But the point that I keep making is that there are people struggling out there with their jobs. It's not necessarily because they're lazy. It's not necessarily because they're entitled. I think jobs demand a lot more than previous generations, or maybe I'm wrong, but or maybe it's just the industry, but it feels like there was a generation of people who went to work and they put in their hours and that was it. they weren't expected to work beyond the hours that they were paid for. Whereas now it's not like that. Like, people want you to be on call pretty much all the time. And if you have a deadline, they want you to meet that deadline, despite the fact that within that deadline, you'll have to do other things on a daily basis to do your job. You can't just focus on their task at the moment at hand. You're always what is it called? You're always balancing multiple projects. So your attention is always in different places, and you have to keep it very, 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 I can't think of the word, but like, you have to keep moving your attention as the priorities change. That's basically how it is. And for some people, they can do that because they were brought up in a generation where you just got to do what you got to do. And then there are other people who are like, no, this is not what I was hired to do. This is not the job that was described to me. It's changed. And they won't. And I don't blame them. I'm not going to sit there and berate them. I'm not going to sit there and make fun of them or belittle them or judge them for doing what's best for their soul and for their mental health. Because the last thing you want is somebody who's unhappy at their job coming to work every day, because it becomes a cancer to everyone else. You know, it does. And even me, like, I work really hard to just keep a positive atmosphere about myself. I try to always laugh. I try to always make jokes with people. Sometimes I'll be honest, and I try to because the person asked me a direct question and I don't want to lie. But for the most part, I really just try to keep it professional, yet an environment that you want to be in. Like, I want my coworkers to enjoy working with me, because I know it's difficult to work with someone who doesn't like their job or who's always unhappy and takes it out on, and becomes hard to work with. So I try to be that kind of colleague where it's like, okay, Anne-Marie, even though she might be blah, 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 I know I can approach her and I know that she will help me. Now, on top of that, you will be in a situation like this and you have people who micromanage, and it causes more difficulty in the situation. Whereas if the anxiety is so high sometimes that people don't know how to get help. And for example, someone will give you a manager will give you a task, right? But they will micromanage how you do that task. And that causes anxiety. It's and if you're not used to that, if you're a brand new person coming into the workforce and you're not used to those operations, the type of personalities and operations, you get that feeds into you and you get overwhelmed. So the last thing you want to do on the internet is telling people they're lazy and that because they don't like their job, your job is not supposed to be something that you like. You're not supposed to like your job. It's supposed to be something, but you're forgetting that some people are not working 40-hour weeks. Some people are working 50, a ridiculous amount of time. So their time is always at their job. And so when you have that kind of non-work-life balance, it's hard to manage your mental stability. And so for the people judging that, probably boomers. I'm just gonna say it, probably boomers. It's difficult. So for all the young people out there who are just not putting up with it, I admire you, although you do make my life a little harder, but you keep doing you. You keep doing you. And just also if you know that this is something that's happening to you, save up. So you're not anxious about not finding a job. Save up for you're getting into this job 6 months and you're save up for 6 months. Try to save up for a year. Don't be afraid if you can. Live with your parents. Get over that. As long as your parents are not abusing you and they're not nasty to you, use that support system and save up. use that support system to get some balance into your life. And if you just can't take it anymore and you share it, that's okay too. Like, don't be like, I wouldn't recommend quitting a job without a job, just because my mindset, because I've done it and it's never ended up well for me. Because I didn't have the support. Like, I didn't have parents I could depend on. I didn't have people I could depend on. Like, but if you have that foundation and you have people that can help you without you taking advantage of them, like, then do what you need to do. But also be willing to work a job just to earn some money, in the sense that, let's say you quit a job because you're overwhelmed and you're working too many hours. Okay, be willing to work a part-time job. If you have the support where you can, like, cut down on your expenses, be willing to work a part-time job. That doesn't probably pay a lot, but it gives you your mind back, your emotions, your anxiety back, your sense of who you are back, until you can progress to something more, you know? So just have a strategy is all I'm saying. And for the people judging them, be quiet. Like, be quiet. People love to just dish on people on the internet, and I'm convinced that a lot of people just have terrible lives and they need to feel good about themselves, so they just like to shit on other people. I'm convinced of that. So that's my 2 cents. Again, this is Anne-Marie calling from Living Love Consciously. I hope I made some sense today in this rant about unsolicited advice on the internet and people just using people to make money off of, like, by shitting on people. We're supposed to be taking care of each other. And I will say this in maybe not every video because I forget, but that's the basis of the human thing. The human experience is, despite all the issues, despite everything, at the end of the day, we should be taking care of each other and being kind and loving and supporting and compassionate towards each other. That's it. And if we were more like that, maybe we wouldn't, like, just keep having to eat shit all the time. All right. I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Leave comments in this section if you were able to follow this conversation at all, because I know I went bleh. If you were able to follow this conversation, if you weren't able to follow this conversation but you got something out of it, please leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about people quitting their jobs without a job. Let me know your thoughts about the level of anxiety that people are feeling in their workplace. Let me know your thoughts about how work-life balance is really just non-existent thing anymore, and it seems to be the norm as the job market gets more challenging. And I will talk to you again. Take care of yourself. Sending you lots of love. Bye.